Excellent. Thank you so much on touching on that. People do love cybersecurity. Of course, it's my first love, and it's gonna be the same when it comes to tech. So yes, thank you so much for sharing that. Uh, I would like to move to Doran to understand how important it is for your employees uh, when they know that okay they are building something which is great and it's gonna have future impact, it's gonna have an impact in the future when it comes to innovations at point grab. So what value does an employee who is working at your team sees in your company's vision?
It's dramatic. It's not less than dramatic. I had tough days leading Point Grub through very troubling water when we really had trouble finishing and paying salaries on time, paying our vendors on time. And the two things that kept the team together, and at least in Israel, the market for professionals, especially in R&D, technology in general, there's always demand for them with very high salaries. I
Right.
mean, you spoke about a few hundred rupees. No, a lot more. And the two things that kept them was spirit of working together on something they believed will do, and being innovative, believing that what we develop together is something that is not only does not only have an effect on the cash flow of our company, but also impacts a lot of customers. And think of a company that is a small company, 10 employees perhaps, that manages to sell to Coca-Cola and to Facebook and to Deloitte and to Bank of America and to Adobe and to Dell. And you realize that in a small company, everyone has an effect. It's the office manager that actually makes the shipments to the customers. It's the operation manager who actually helps us manufacture in China. It's the salespeople, obviously. It's the support people that work with the customer in order to make it happen. It's the CFO to make sure everything works in time. Obviously, the R&D people deliver things. So in a small company, everyone feels that the innovation and the ability to penetrate the market and enter the market with a solution that's worth something means a lot to them. I know it means a lot to them. And if I can say from my experience in many of the companies, and I work for companies that had thousands of employees,
Right.
when they lack innovation, it's painful. It's painful for the leaders, it's painful for the innovative people, it's painful for the engineers, even though they're paid well. And even though they work in a market leader, if they don't feel that they're doing something worthwhile and innovative and significant, they will look for alternatives.
Right, absolutely, excellent. One thing I noted is people look for synergy. People look for exciting work. It does not matter to them how much money they are making, but what matters is whatever they are building, be it even converting a client, they are actually doing it for a greater purpose, and that greater purpose is innovation. That greater purpose is to have a better future ahead, and that's so great, Doran. Now, because we have been talking about innovation at Point Grab and the importance and value it has for everybody, I want to understand one more thing from you: is that who is driving this innovation? Is it driven from top to bottom, or people at Point Grab are also coming up with their own unique ideas and the management is taking them up? It's like a bottom to up model as well.
I
How
think
are
it has a lot,
initiatives
in
coming
every
up?
company, and definitely in Point Grub, it has a lot to do with the way the organization looks at innovation. And I'll give you two perhaps different, almost opposite perspectives. I worked in a company in which they had an innovation committee.
Okay.
And that committee would meet every week or 2 weeks. It had some executives and some engineers, and people could join, but it was structured. So it's as if I have a very busy agenda, and every Wednesday or every other Wednesday at 3 o'clock, between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock, I have to be innovative, right? That's one way of doing things. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying it's an organization that is a great but busy organization that says, I want to make sure that I drive innovation, I need to put time for it in the calendar. Another organization would say, I'm allowing my employees to invest 20% of their time, that's 1 day a week for those of you who have calculation issues, in doing their own things. And when I say their own thing, that doesn't mean that they're now going home to play with their pet, or they're open their own restaurant. That's not what it means. It means take your skills, take our facilities, and make something of what you know and what you want to do that will be innovative. It could be on charity basis, it could be donation to something else, it could be for the community, it could be for yourself. All of this is possible. You asked in PointGrab, so I'll answer. PointGrab is a small company. If there's one thing that I truly dislike is yes men. It's people who are thinking, oh, that's what the CEO said, this is what we'll do, that's the right thing. No, I encourage opposition, I encourage conflicts of opinions, I encourage different opinions, and this is the ground for innovation in my eyes. So innovation can come from my secretary, it can come from the CFO, it can come from the CTO, it can come from a developer that we hired just 2 months ago. It's not limited. We didn't put any time in the schedule for it, but it is keep coming to the table every single meeting. We had a management meeting earlier today. Following the call that I had with someone from Deutsche Telekom, and I spoke to my CTO, and during that meeting today, there was kind of quite a brilliant idea that some of us thought of it together, and we're going to drive it through from next week onwards. And it's just about people not being criticized for bringing to the table ideas that are not conventional. I think it starts with that.